he's hooked, his brain is cooked. He's hooked, his brain is cooked. Space Invaders. Space Invaders. Space Invaders. Space Invaders.
Well, hey guys, time again for another Willie's Ramblins and Pickup video for November. Been a little while since I've done the last one. I've been to all kinds of places. Had a lot of fun looking at different stores and picking up a lot of different things for my collection. One of the places I visited was my buddy's comic book store, comic book / toy store, Rick's Comics and Games. He had a show not too long ago, and there was a lot of vendors there. Matter of fact, I saw Keith Carter there, who is a Topps artist for the Topps trading cards. He was there selling his movie, Orlok the Vampire. I picked up a copy of it. It's a 3D remake of Nosferatu. It's not a remake, but it's a 3D version of Nosferatu. Pretty neat movie. I also saw some cool Star Trek Mego figures and, of course, some Star Wars stuff there. There's a guy there that actually refurbishes old Star Wars ships. He'll get them in and they'll be really bad. He'll restore them and everything, get the electronics working. Pretty awesome. Besides that, I visited a new store out in Greer, South Carolina called the Toy Federation. Lots of cool stuff in this store. Some vintage stompers. I saw some other cool things like the Battlestar Galactica little ship that shot the little missiles from Mattel. I had both of those ships. It was really neat to see those in the box yet again. Let's see, where else have I been? Oh, when I was out in Dayton, I visited one of my favorite stores out there, Game Swap. Saw a lot of boxed Atari games, a lot of boxed television games, some Odyssey 2 there as well. I love that store in Dayton. Every time I go through Dayton, I try to visit that store. Another store I visited while I was in Ohio, of course, is Big Fun in Columbus, Ohio. If you're ever in Columbus, Ohio, you have got to visit this store. It is so cool. Found some cool stuff there. I did see a Coleco Galaxian behind the glass. I think they wanted $85 for it. It did have its battery cover and it worked perfectly fine. I left it behind because I've already got one. Saw some other cool stuff there too, like SSP. I love the SSP racers. Those are a lot of fun to mess around with. Oh, excuse me. Besides that, I also visited my buddy's store, his other store, down in Florence, South Carolina, Matt's Game Exchange, and I found myself some treasures down there as well. I like going to Matt's Game Exchange stores. Matt and Gerald they're really friendly guys. They're pretty awesome. So I always like to visit their stores whenever I'm in the Greensboro area or down in Florence. Let's see, what else? Oh, I recently backed the Centipede Replicade that's coming out. This is a 12-inch tall Centipede replica that's made with real wood. It's made just like the arcade game, but in miniature form. And they met their goals within like 24 hours. They actually went to a stretch goal, which their stretch goal now is to make a Tempest little replicade. Now, I'm going to be all over this because I love Tempest, so I'm super excited about this one coming out. Also, a new magazine was released by Mike Salzman. It's the Atari 2600 Arcade Companion. It has like 33 arcade games listed in it, with a lot of personal stories from people and everything like that. It kind of goes along with my Atari-cade 2600 series I'm doing. So I'm making sure I promote his book as I do those videos. I plan on picking it up myself. It's available on Amazon.com right now. And speaking of magazines, there's another new magazine that's out right now. It's called, what's it called? My mind has just went blank. Oh, Old School Gaming Mag. Now, it has some really cool authors in this magazine. We have Leonard Herman. We have Michael Thomason in there. We also have my buddy Brett Weiss has been writing articles in this magazine. It's a brand new one. It looks really awesome, so I've signed up for it to check it out. So I'll put a link to all this stuff down here in the video description so you can click on these little linkies and go check this stuff out for yourself. Also remember, on the Arcade USA Facebook page, I've currently got a Galaxian Tiny Arcade giveaway going on right now. It ends at midnight, November 17th. And basically just go on there, submit a high score for Galaxian for whatever console it's ported to be entered into the contest. Got a few entries so far, and the contest is going along really well, so I'm pretty happy about that. So, I think we need to get to the pickups. First, I'm going to check my notes real quick. Yeah, I got them all. The brain ain't so good anymore. I gotta have nuts. Alrighty. Let's look at some pickups. Yes. Now, I just recently added a VFD game to my collection that I've been after for quite some time. It's called Pair Match by Bandai Electronics. What's neat about this game is instead of using, matching up symbols and things like that, it plays a little audio tune, and you got to match audio tune to another selection on the board. It's a really cool game. I like the design of this. It could be 2 players as well. And I remember seeing this on the Star Trek The Next Generation show. This was usually sitting in 10 forward on the little tables and everything. I was like, what is that? Oh, that's a Bandai Pair Match. That's pretty awesome. So I'm looking forward to doing a video about that one. Also found down at my buddy's store, Matt's Game Exchange, Pole Position for the Intellivision game system. Now, what's neat about this game is the disc on the Intellivision controller pretty much acts like a steering wheel. So it's fairly easy to control and use the buttons on the side to shift up and shift down. It's not a bad game of pole position, although I can't play it worth a darn, as you can see in the video up here. I keep crashing, but I still like it. And what I really like, as it was only $3. Yes! Sometimes you can find those great deals out there in the wild. While I was at Big Fun Columbus, I picked up my buddy RK a Battlestar Galactica Mattel handheld game. I've got my original over there. This one says Battlestar Galactica, where my original one that I got back in the day says Space Alert. So this is a different variation of that. So RK loves Battlestar Galactica. So I decided to pick this up for him. So we do cover these games on the Toy Tune podcast. So I'll have this to mess around with. Actually in pretty good shape. Almost kept that for myself. I picked up Final Doom for the PlayStation. Now I like Doom, but I just wish it had analog controls instead of the, the old PS1 D-pad kind of thing. It's hard to play Doom with a non-analog controller. But it does allow the option for the PlayStation 1 mouse to be used. And it plays much better using the PlayStation mouse. So I'm looking forward to playing this some more. Also for my PlayStation 1, I picked up another game called Disruptor, which is another first-person shooter game. It's kind of cool. Reminds me a lot of Doom. I like first-person shooter type games, so I've decided, what the heck, I'll pick this up for my collection. I kind of enjoy it. I'll play it some more, and maybe I'll do a video on this sometime in the near future. I got a lot of PlayStation games that I can do videos on. For my Xbox, the original Xbox, I picked up, how do you pronounce this? Murakumo. Murakumo, yeah. It's a mech game where you fly through cityscapes and you shoot down other mechs. It's pretty high speed. I've been trying to collect some of these really cool games on the original Xbox because they're really cheap right now. I figure sometime in the near future, these will start going up in price. So I'm trying to collect the games I really like on the original Xbox before prices start going. This wasn't too bad. This was like $20 for this. I really like it. It's actually a really fun game. So I like mech games in general. Oh, here's that Orlok the Vampire by Keith Carter. Comes with 2 of the little 3D glasses and everything. And on the back it says, let's see here, Orlok the Vampire is a newly restored 3D version of Nosferatu. This never-before-seen print is an eerie and disturbing adaptation of Bram Stoker's Dracula. Shortly after its 1922 premiere, Murano's masterpiece became the subject of a bitter lawsuit. As a result, all known copies of this blood-sucking classic were destroyed. Or so it was believed. 87 years later, Quality Cheese Productions unleashes this unnerving, stereoscopic nightmare. Prepare for a filmic feeding frenzy of fright. Cool. I'm looking forward to watching this because I love Nosferatu, the classic movie. So I'm really looking forward to seeing this in 3D. This is awesome. And of course, when I was out at Rick's Comics and Toys store for that show, I had to pick up the Darth Vader TIE Fighter from that guy that restores these things. And it works perfectly fine. The wings aren't broken off. It's pretty cool. It still has its little laser guy. I have you now. So awesome. Hope I hang this from my ceiling. So I'm really looking forward to having this again. I had this back in the day. Loved the little Star Wars ships that came out with the original Star Wars figures. That was such a cool concept. Then, of course, I also picked up my buddy John Black sent me a boxed Intex Arcade Defender VFD for my VFD collection. I'm pretty happy about this. I'll be doing a video on this in the near future. He also sent me a complete in the box Super Cobra from Intex. So I'll be doing a video on this as well. I love collecting VFD games. I love VFD games in general. So if it's got a VFD screen, I'm typically going to be after it. So I'm really happy to have these in my collection now. And the last thing he sent me, which was really awesome, is he sent me the Atari Age magazine that has Pole Position in it. Now, I used to get the Atari Age magazine back when it was originally coming out. I loved it. I wish I still had them all because I had the complete set. But it's kind of neat to have this back again in my collection. I may pick up these here and there as I see them or whatever. Maybe if it has a game I really like. Something like that. But I'll be doing a video on this in the near future as well. So awesome. Also, my buddy Dwayne built me an Intellivision Retro Pi case. Now I'm going to send this to my buddy Rick Reynolds of the Intellivision areas because he likes Intellivision, of course. And he always likes building these little Retro Pi consoles. So I thought maybe I'd send him one of an Intellivision for him to put a Retro Pi into. So that's pretty awesome. And then, of course, I picked up a Streaks set. Now this is a toy that has no wheels. It uses a cushion of air to float these things across the floor. They're pretty cool. Matter of fact, on the Toy Tune podcast, my buddy RK and I just interviewed Gary and Lone Saffer, who actually was behind these toys. Here's the aircraft version here. So I'll be doing a Toy Tune video on these sometime in the near future. Also, when I was at Big Fun in Columbus, I picked up my buddy that lives up in Canada, an indoor Han action figure from the original line. He's been trying to collect a lot of these figures. And I've been on the hunt for this one for probably a few months now. Finally ran across one, so I called him up and he goes, "Oh yeah, I'll take it. But first, can you do a float test?" Float test? He goes, "Yeah. The weapons that come with the original Star Wars figures, if they're the original ones, they typically will float, where the reproduction ones will sink to the bottom." I had no idea about this. I was like, okay, what the heck? So I asked the guy there, and he goes, "Oh yeah, we'll do it." So he gets out his cup of water, throws a gun in there, and I poke it down and stuff, and it floats. So hey, it's float. We've got a floater, so it's going to work. Yeah!
They all flow down here.
So, that's it for this time's pickups, this segment's pickups. Boy, I can't talk with a darn today, man. Anyway, thanks for watching, and as Ferg always says, be kind to each